greetings to our AHEPA family in the United States and all over the world. I wanted to take this time to thank our Supreme President, George Bilirakis, and the professional headquarters staff for their hard work during this unprecedented time. And I will tell you that Basil Mosaidis and Andrew Kappas are very good friends of mine, and they're wonderful people, and they do a great job for AHEPA. The AHEPA has a great resource page which outlines all the programs and initiatives we, as members, have undertaken as an organization. The Supreme President has called on all of our chapters to do their part to assist the community. We have chapters donating food to the first responders, doctors, nurses, and the front-line heroes. We have AHEPA links for our members to find resources they need in their hometowns. So I appreciate all that. You know, AHEPA has always taken the lead, and we appreciate that so much. And AHEPA has reached out to other communities over the years, and we appreciate that as well. In Congress, we're taking important steps to keep all Americans safe in the face of this threat. We want to stabilize the economy, and we want to take steps to address significant financial needs of individual families and small businesses. With public safety being our primary concern, I voted for the first coronavirus package, which provided more than $8 billion to states and local governments in order to ensure that they had health care infrastructure necessary to keep all Americans safe. This package became law 2 weeks ago, and the money has been distributed to states and local governments. These funds are being used to purchase essential equipment and supplies, increase the production of testing kits, expedite vaccine development, and provide the human resources needed by local and state health departments. My team and I participate in regular calls. Your members of Congress around the country, I'm sure, do the same. We participate in regular calls with our governor and the governor's leadership and state departments of health in order to learn about and respond to any issues that may arise as it relates to keeping the public safe. I've also communicated with the administration several times. As you may be aware, our state, much like the nation and the entire world, so when I say our state, I'm here in Florida, but I know we have chapters all over the country, and as I said, all over the world. I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and we all have a shortage of supplies, but we are getting there because we're working together, not just on a federal level, a state level, and then of course our businesses, the private sector has been outstanding. The state has explained that they're sending supplies to the areas of the state with the greatest number of confirmed cases. I'm sure that's true in your case, in your state as well. I'm working with other members of the delegation, now in this case it's the Florida delegation, to ensure our community gets its fair share of resources, and I've spoken to health departments, community health centers, and each CEO of my hospitals in my particular district in the Tampa Bay area. And we've reached out to them, and they're telling us that they have a shortage of resources, and we're working on that. I've joined other members of the delegation to ask FEMA to prioritize the allocation of resources to my particular state, and I've been working with local manufacturing companies to help expedite their federal approvals so they can shift operations to help meet this critical need. The private businesses have also stepped up, particularly those with the expertise in medical manufacturing, and I know of plenty of Hellenic businesses in the United States that have chipped in, as well as in Greece. I will continue to do everything in my power to ensure our medical professionals have the ongoing resources and support needed to do their jobs effectively and safely. I also want you to know we are making progress in streamlining the approval process for clinical trials of medications that may lead to more effective treatments and a future vaccine for this virus. And This is where I've really communicated with the administration to make sure that the FDA is on top of this. There are several medications. Some of them are by, as I said, Greek companies here in the United States that have a real chance, and they're currently conducting clinical trials. And hopefully these will be cures and treatments for this virus. We have to think outside of the box, folks. We have the brightest minds in the world working together on this, and I am optimistic. I do understand that the recent actions taken to prevent the spread of the coronavirus have had a negative impact on the lives of many Americans and on our nation's economy. And we know that we'll be spending Easter together in our homes, though, with our immediate families. It's going to be difficult, but we can do it with the live streaming. We can listen to and see the church services, and it's going to be a little more different. But again, our God is with us, and we are with him, even though we won't be able to attend the church services. I voted for the second emergency package that was signed into law recently. It provides for a national sick leave program, an expansion of programs to feed children during school closures, and the elderly in their homes, some support for small businesses, and an extension of unemployment benefits. Last Friday, the CARES Act was signed into law. So we traveled up to DC for the day and voted on the CARES Act. Among the many provisions in the third stimulus package, it contains stimulus rebate payments to individuals, expansion of unemployment benefits, increased cash assistance for small businesses, and a significant loan program for our nation's businesses hit hardest by this pandemic. If you have already filed a 2019 tax return, the IRS will automatically use it for your calculations for your rebate checks, up to $1,200 for individuals, $2,400 married filing jointly, and $500 per child under 16. If you have not filed, the IRS will use your 2018 returns. You should be getting these checks, folks, in about 10 days. This is what the administration is telling us. And I think they'll be helpful. They really are going to be helpful. Seniors on Social Security, those on Social Security disability, and disabled veterans, our heroes, will also receive the full stimulus payment. Of course, depending on the income, but they will receive a check. The Treasury Treasury Department has worked with these agencies and participants receiving these checks automatically. So if you do it electronically, if you file electronically, or you get the automatic deposit, as I'll say in a second, then you'll be receiving your check without having to do anything. These are important facts, and maybe you do know them, but it's always good to reiterate. Most Americans will not need to do anything to apply for the stimulus payment. Secretary Mnuchin said many Americans will start receiving it by mid-April, and I had a conversation with him. We had a conference just the other day. Most will receive it electronically, as I said, in the same account they put on file for the 2019 tax return. The IRS is setting up an online portal for people who need to update their bank accounts. Unlike previous rebates from the federal government, the rebates from this package will not be included as income for the 2020 tax filing season. I'll repeat that again. The rebates from this package will not be included as income for the 2020 tax filing season. There are income limitations for each tax filing status. I alluded to that. For individuals, the stimulus amount begins to be phased out for those making $75,000. Head of the household is $112,500, and for married filing jointly, $150,000. Doesn't mean that if you make over those amounts, doesn't mean you're not going to receive a check, but more than likely it's going to be less than people making under 75 and under 150,000. So we know many people are suddenly unemployed due to this virus or have seen a reduction in hours. Here in Florida, the unemployment is a state issue. So the state actually provides the money. They operate the unemployment insurance benefits account. But the federal government obviously distributes the money, and we have distributed quite a bit of money in this case in the third package. So unemployment is a partnership program with the state governments operating the administration of benefits. Now here in Florida, we've had a problem, I'll tell you, and a lot of people are calling in. The governor is talking about maybe going back to the old way, where we used paper instead of electronically. But the websites have been down and people are really concerned. And I'm going to pick up the phone and call the governor after this, after we finish here, to make sure that we have alternatives in place, because people need these benefits. They've lost their jobs. We've expanded benefits, again, through this package to include those not normally eligible for unemployment benefits. This means self-employed, independent contractors, and those who are still working but are experiencing reduced hours. The bill also increases the weekly unemployment benefit amount by $600. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. We know that, with the majority of Americans being employed through a small business. And I know this crisis is taking a toll on our small businesses. SBA disaster loans have already been made available, okay? However, this package provides even more substantial help for our small businesses, including the creation of the Paycheck Protection Program. An important thing to realize is that small businesses under 500 employees, including sole proprietorships, independent contractors, and nonprofit organizations under 500, okay, do not just get access to this new loan program, but if the owners keep paying their employees and paying their rent, those portions of the loans are forgiven, meaning they won't have to pay that portion back. These loans are already being written. They started on Friday, okay? So contact your bank directly, and the bank should have all the proper guidance now from the Treasury Department. Now, I know it started off slow on Friday, but understand it's picking up. So please contact your bank directly, particularly if you have a relationship with the bank and you have an account there and you borrow money, you have a credit line, what have you, or a business loan from that particular bank. They should be able to help you. The CARES Act, that third package that I'm talking about, also provides loan guarantees for businesses with more than 500 employees, as well as tax incentives that will cover up to 50% of employees' salaries for 2 months. While it does also provide loans to critical infrastructure industries, like the airlines, there's a provision that prevents stock options buyback, the stock option buyback, a limitation on executive salary for participating entities, and a timeline for repayment. So we did that. These are to keep our employees employed, and of course we want the businesses to stay above water, and that's the purpose of the bill. The goal of all of these relief measures, as I said, is to provide an incentive to keep America working when it is safe to do so. You can visit sba.gov for more information on the loan programs available to small businesses. In closing, I want to reiterate that our Supreme President has said that this too shall pass, and he's right, and all of us will come out stronger. I agree with that. AHEPA is the only organization who since 1992 has boots on the ground when terrible events like this happen, and I'm so proud of the work that they do. They do a lot of work on Capitol Hill. with your sanctions Turkey efforts, and they certainly need to be sanctioned, with your stance on human rights and the support of the ecumenical patriarchate, and most of all, our strength in the communities where you make the biggest impact saving people's lives. I'm very proud of AHEPA, as you can see. AHEPA was one of the first organizations, as a matter of fact, I think it was the first meeting we had with the Jewish organizations around the country, working together, and we've established a partnership between Greece, Cyprus, and Israel that will benefit all three countries, but more importantly, it will benefit the United States of America. And I want to give AHEPA credit for that. I'm proud to be in AHEPA, and I look forward to seeing you soon. I want to close with something my friend, our executive director, my good friend Bezos Mosaitis, said to me the other day. When times get tough, remember that, when times get tough, the AHEPA gets going. God bless you. God bless AHEPA. Ο Θεός μαζί σας. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ.